Hey guys, Kinsey Schofield here with our friend Scott Rouse, a leading expert in behavior and body language. Scott serves as a trusted advisor to law enforcement, the military, top tier CEOs, and me. Be sure to follow Scott in his YouTube channel and the Behavior Panel's YouTube channel. Today, we are dissecting Meghan Markle's 2025. We're going to go through the timeline, revisit some of our conversations we've had with Scott previously throughout this year. Where we met. He became an official friend of the channel, and it's been a great relationship. And we actually went through several of these events with Scott over the year. So if you're asking yourself, does Meghan really sit back and at the end of this year and consider this a successful year? Well, Scott Rouse has the answer for you. Scott, thanks so much for being here. Let's go over some of Meghan's highs and lows in 2025. I watched your Meghan marathon the other day. You psycho. I put it on in the background, and like 3 hours later, I was like, Scott's still talking.
Yeah,
That was
that's
super
horrible.
smart of you.
Oh, thanks. Because I
Um,
mean, I make those so you can just listen to them, so you don't actually have to watch them all the time.
yeah, I did. I
Watch them myself.
primarily listened to it, and it was great. But I wanted to ask you about 2025 in general, because if you watch your Meghan marathon, you can see that you've covered a lot of her activity over the last 12 months, but years, honestly. And so let's just look at something. She rejoins Instagram on January 1st,
Mm.
which to me was such a mistake because a family friend died in that New Orleans terror attack. Harry's nanny, who's Archie's godparent. William and Catherine make a statement about how devastated they are for their nanny's loss. Harry and Meghan don't say anything. Meghan just jumps on Instagram and reannounces her comeback. Um, Meghan and Harry on January the 11th.
Wait a
It's
minute.
yeah.
They, that was their nanny died, and they didn't say anything about it.
No, it was her son. It was her son. But William and
Oh,
Catherine said something about it. And it was Archie, their son's godmother. So you do think that they would
oh,
acknowledge it at all. But
yeah.
no, Meghan, this to your point about narcissism, Meghan just decides to ignore that story. Terrorism in the United States, in New Orleans, Louisiana, Tiggy's stepson involved in that passed away, and Meghan just decides hours later to upload her Instagram video to announce that she's back. On January 11th, we see the disaster tourist nickname for the first time. Justine Bateman is angry at Harry and Meghan for touring the Eaton Fire, which is associated with the Palisades Fire. All those fires were happening at the same time. January 12th, it's reported that Meghan Markle has asked Netflix to delay the premiere of her first season of With Love, Meghan. Although I think it was Netflix's idea, like, hey, the entire city's burning down. Is it appropriate for us to publish this glossy show when people are like losing their homes in huge quantities? um January 17th, the Vanity Fair piece American Hustle is published. That was a good piece. Did you read that article? Oh my gosh, I'm going to send it to you. Your life will change.
Okay.
So that's month one, and that is a lot of bad. The Vanity Fair piece is crushing. There are people from Spotify that talked to Vanity Fair that say they needed therapy after working with
Is
Meghan
that the one
Markle.
you sent me
I don't.
already? Which one?
I send you so much. I sent you Harper's Bazaar.
That's the one. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
but this Vanity Fair piece, I think my argument over the last few weeks after the Harper's Bazaar piece is Meghan wants a piece like Harper's Bazaar to define her, but it's my argument that this Vanity Fair piece really defines her and Harry.
Mm.
Like they talk about how Harry couldn't come up with any ideas for Spotify, but he loves hot chocolate and would show up late for meetings with Netflix and ask for hot chocolate, which is not a normal thing that adults keep in the office. So people would scramble like out of the office to go try to find hot chocolate. And Spotify was like, he really likes hot chocolate. Should we make a show around hot chocolate and where he judges hot chocolate? I mean, it's just such a
Oh my
bizarre,
God.
it's so bizarre. It's such a bizarre insight. Like I feel like I'm not going through these fast enough, but
No, I want to hear about that. They talked about doing a hot chocolate show for this guy.
Yeah, because
Wow.
he wasn't coming up with any good ideas. You know, his idea for a podcast was he wanted to sit down with people like President Trump and Putin and talk to them about their childhoods and try to figure out why they ended up how they ended up.
Can you
And
imagine watching that?
no,
Oh my
and
God.
Spotify was like, "What if you did a hot chocolate review show?"
Let me tell you, they ought to get him to do that Trump and Putin thing. That'd be the most hilarious thing ever. You're
Oh,
talking about content. That guy would have, they'd be spewing stuff out every 5 seconds. YouTubers around the world would be making millions on doing videos on those.
well, you
Just
know, he just did
millions.
a chat in Toronto this week for the real estate convention, and there were no photos and no videos allowed. So I think that he's trying to stop YouTubers from making money off of him. The fact that all of a sudden he's doing a media blackout policy when this pay for prince who basically will show up if the price is right anywhere. Isn't that interesting to you that he and one woman was trying to film just the introduction and she was escorted out of the conference room and they made her delete the footage?
Right, when you delete footage in your phone, it's always still on the phone. It's
I
always
know.
you have to delete. So maybe she got away with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Um so that's month 1. Month 2, I'll just do the big parts. Harry does Invictus, Meghan leaves early. That was February the 8th. February 18th, Meghan announces via Instagram that American Riviera Orchard is now being called As Ever. What a huge fail when it comes to name recognition, because for a year before that, American Riviera Orchard was the brand that was written about almost daily in anticipation. And then Meghan announces randomly in February that she's going to switch the name. I don't think that people were critical enough about this.
What was her reasoning behind that?
She said it was because it was too restrictive um, because of American Riviera Orchard. Trademark wise, the food, the products would likely have to be from what is deemed the American Riviera, which is Santa Barbara only. And her products are made, I don't have your box here that you sent me, but her products are made in like Chicago, aren't they? Like her products are not
Yeah.
made in Santa Barbara.
Okay. Yeah. So
But
because
I
they're
think
white
it
label.
was the thousands, potentially millions of dollars in trademark issues she was having with American
Okay.
Riviera Orchard. And that's ultimate, but she doesn't admit to that defeat. She says it was too restrictive for her, because when does she ever admit that she
Yeah.
has made a mistake? So that was strange to me that everybody just was like, okay, we're calling it As Ever, instead of being like, oh my gosh, you wasted so much potential by allowing this other name to be regurgitated in the media for over a year.
Mhm.
March 4th, With Love, Meghan officially premiered on Netflix, was briefly in the top 10, but as you know, it probably had more success being parodied on social media than it actually did on Netflix's long list of wins this year. I'll skip the Drew Barrymore appearance. Did you cover the Drew Barrymore appearance when Meghan
No,
was
I didn't
on?
see that. What was that about?
Her promoting her Netflix show. And it was a little weird. We should cover that, or you should cover that, because I'd like your opinion as to whether or not I heard that she got the questions beforehand, but
Mhm.
they try to play it off as very Meghan is like, Meghan tries to act shocked by
Uh,
certain things. So I'd love for you to watch that and tell me if you believe in the authenticity of that. At one point, Drew Barrymore brings out a picture of her and Princess Diana, and Meghan's like, "Oh my gosh, really? You're not going to get that approved?"
I didn't know
Bef-
this existed. I don't think, unless I've done it, and that could be do so many things.
I don't think you've done it before, because I feel like I would have watched it. I am a
Oh,
subscriber to the Scott Rouse channel.
oh, thank you.
March 13th, Meghan announced a new podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. What the hell happened to that, Scott?
Yeah,
Also, what a missed opportunity that wasn't visual. Do you think that it wasn't visual because Meghan wanted to show loyalty to Netflix, or why do you think that wasn't a visual podcast? That's where we are now. That's what you and I do.
hmm Maybe it was a contractual thing.
Mhm.
Somebody come up, so you can't do that right now because you never know those kind of things. And I don't think and I would be under the impression she would always want to be seen, always want to be. And I think she wants as much coverage about anything as she possibly can get.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
I don't know.
You know, this is one of my favorite products. This holiday, while others are chasing the rush, find your sense of calm with Peak. Peak is a luxury wellness brand powered by rare plants and cutting edge ingredients, offering the perfect remedy for the season's hustle and bustle. Their science backed botanicals, minerals, and vitamins support metabolic function, immune health, sustained energy, and radiant skin. In this festive season, choose serenity as the ultimate luxury with Peak. One of their newest essentials, the Deep Hydration Protocol, is a day to night electrolyte system that keeps your body and skin hydrated while promoting better sleep. Enjoy a focus boost without jitters or crash. The natural balance of caffeine and calming compounds keep you centered and alert all day long. Nutrients in their matcha help curb sugar and hunger cravings, making it easier to stick to your wellness goals. Now, I have been using the deep hydration protocol every night for the past 2 months, and my skin has never looked so plump and dewy. I wake up looking and feeling like I got enough sleep. Ready to gift the glow? Unlock 20% off for life for yourself and everyone on your list. Give the gift of glowing health this holiday season. Get started at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. All right, April 2nd, the first collection of As Ever products go live. The website, she said it sold out in minutes, but people immediately started getting emails saying, we don't have the product you ordered. Would you like to wait until an unspecified date to get said product? Or would you like a refund? So it was not a clean rollout, I guess I would say. Uh, April 28th. I'm assuming you've seen this one. Meghan Markle's Jamie Kern-Lima
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah, I did a show on that. I couldn't believe I'd never heard of Jamie Kern Lima before. She may be a nice person. I couldn't believe how odd she was. But that goes to show you when you're trying to, but I think that was one of those things that's a parasitic relationship. Jamie Kern Lima, come to find out, has this big some kind of line she sold. It's like makeup or
Makeup line, yeah.
something.
It
Okay.
cosmetics, yeah.
And I think
I look, I had heard of Jamie Kern Lima because I am a self-help goober. I
mhm.
love how to win friends and influence people,
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Dale Carnegie, Zig Ziglar. I freaking love those people. And Jamie Kern Lima tries to linger in that space.
Mm,
I think I saw her because she was doing an event Tony Robbins was doing. So I was familiar with her, but I
mhm.
cannot stand her now because of this association with Meghan Markle. And you're saying there are benefits for both of them, and that's why they have found each other.
Yeah, apparently she lives close to Megan because Megan's coming down the driveway like she just walked there from her house or something. And they say we're neighbors or whatever. They also say they're not wearing makeup, but if you look at it, they're wearing makeup.
Yeah.
But I that's when I first realized how many that Megan has this blinking tick, you know. So at the end of it, I put this thing together where Megan's is that the one where I put the blink? I can't remember if it's
Yeah,
the
like
blinking or
110 times or it
yes,
was a wild number.
unbelievable all the time. She blinks really, really quickly. But it's a little tick she has, you know.
I used to blink really bad when I wore fake lashes, and I was waiting for you to call me out on it. And then I developed an allergy to eyelash glue, and now it's gone. So I
Oh,
can't,
bless your heart. What happened? Just itched all the time?
and I would cry. Yeah, I would be
Oh,
getting tears, and it would be, yeah. So I'm glad that I no longer have to deal with that. So I felt like this is one of the most catastrophic interviews that she did this year because it was just parodied so much. There was so much potential to tease her. It was
mhm.
very the power of yes, the power, yeah, and or the power was it the power of yet? No, the power of
Yet.
yet, not yet, not yet. It was just way too. It was a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah, who's the guy that imitates her all the
Which
time? You see her
one? But I
on
know there's a
Instagram.
cute boy that looks like he could be in a boy band that does it.
Yeah,
It-
and he's her, but he does both of them. God,
yes, yeah.
that guy's
Is it's
hilarious.
Michael something, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his name. It just pops up in my feed, and I think it's funny.
It's so funny. Yeah. I felt like that was um I felt like it didn't benefit her. Did you feel like that interview ultimately benefited her?
Not really. I don't think anything. It got her attention. It got attention for her brand. It got attention for all those kind of things. I mean, as you know, a buddy of mine bought a whole bunch of stuff and sent it to me. That's why I could send you that stuff because I wasn't gonna eat it. And so it worked. Apparently they sold some, but I don't think as much as she thought she was going to sell. But that's going back to the Jamie Carolina Lima thing, where that's a parasitic relationship where she's sort of a parasite on Jamie Carolina Lima because she knows how to do that. She knows how to sell stuff. Apparently, she's sold it for like $1 billion or something. And that's what Meghan wants to do. So she wants to be that kind of person. She wants to be the big mogul. Jamie Kern Lima is what Meghan wants to be. So that's why she's trying to get close to her. We haven't heard anything else about them hanging out together. Have you? Have you heard anything about them? Me either.
Well, yes and no. Let me really quickly tell you about this. So, after they have that bizarre conversation, a day later, Jamie posted a gift from Meghan on social media. And it was a gift basket with jam and ice cream and stuff. And it was signed HRH, the Duchess of Sussex, which sparked a ton of controversy. Also, Meghan went to the G9 Summit, which is a female entrepreneurs, investors summit on Jamie Kern Lima's private jet. This was last year, I believe. And so there, I do think that there's an established relationship there, but I also agree with you that there's an ulterior motive from Meghan more so than Jamie. I think Jamie is plenty rich and has,
Yeah.
Hoda Kotb's done her show. She has plenty of high profile people do her show. I think Meghan likes her friends' private jets, and Meghan likes free makeup from her friends, and there's more in it for Meghan than there is for Jamie.
Wait a minute now. Isn't You brought this up before about Meghan having these makeup things with no label on them or something?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's hanging out with Jamie Kern Lima and they do a
And
show
Victoria
together?
Jackson, who owns a makeup company. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's fair to say she'll try to do something in the makeup and beauty space. Why is she in Harper's Bazaar? Why is she sitting down trying to? She last month she was seen trying to court the new Vogue editor. I mean, there was no call to action. Correct me if I'm wrong. In that Harper's Bazaar interview, it was Meghan really just promoting Meghan.
I could probably get you a gig as an investigator if you want. I know some people.
Do it. Well, let's do that. Let's do that.
So you
We've got
should
to
do
do that.
that.
That would just be a fun one. Oh my gosh, June 4th, the twerking video. What a
That was sad.
unflattering, what an
Yeah.
unflattering video to put out into the world. And you said it a few minutes ago. Maybe sometimes it's just because Meghan wants attention, positive or
Mhm.
negative.
Yeah. Yeah. Because as from a men want to be like men, they want to be masculine. Hey, I do this and all. He didn't, that totally knocked his masculinity thing out the window. Guys like girls who are really feminine and girls like guys who are really masculine. And this guy, what masculinity he had up to that point, out the window because of what he's doing in there. It totally made him look like an idiot
It
doing
really
that.
did.
Yeah.
And it would, like, for Meghan, I know that she's saying she's doing this to induce labor, but if
Mm-mm.
you want to be announced in a grand condo or townhome in New York to the Harper's Bazaar journalist as the Duchess of Sussex, act like a duchess and don't
Yes.
be twerking in a hotel or in a hospital room, filming it and then distributing it on the internet for the entire world to see. Act like, if you dress for the job you want, act for the title you want.
Yeah. And that brings up a whole bunch of other questions about being pregnant. But on when I put that video out about telling what's going on, all that from their body language and that thing, if you'll look at the list of the comments under that video, it's almost all nurses. And they're all saying, wait a minute, this isn't right. Here's what would happen. Doctors have
Wow.
said, oh, no, you can't do that because this is dangerous because of this. And nurses will say, oh, that's impossible because this is supposed to be going on. People who've had 2 and 3 babies have said, there's no way you can do that.
Mm.
Everybody under it is saying in the comments, especially and I believe they're nurses because the vernacular they're using. My father's a doctor and I hung out with a bunch of people in the medical world They're nurses because they know what it sounds like they know what they're talking about. And they're saying, you can't do that during this because this would happen and this is not good.
Right. So she opened up a conversation or I don't want to use the word conspiracies, and I'm not, because I'm not trying to disrespect what the people in your comment section are saying, but she opened herself up to criticism that she wouldn't have if she would have just not pressed upload on that video.
Yeah.
Because constitutionally, it's important whether or not she had those children or not. If she did not physically have those children, then they should be removed from the line of succession. I don't think she thinks about the consequences of her own actions. So if she posts something that jeopardizes the credibility of the idea that she had those children herself, why open yourself up to that? Why create more problems for yourself? Which is a theme I think we see throughout this timeline of Meghan creating more problems for herself through her own actions.
Yeah, because she wants the attention. She doesn't realize the attention she wants. It costs something to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes being stupid is expensive and painful.
Oh my God,
It's,
I'm writing
yeah,
that down. That is definitely going in the headline.
yeah, it's
Being
it's true
exclusive is being, what did you say? Being stupid is expensive.
and painful.
Yes.
Can be expensive and painful. And in her case, it seems to be a lot. It seems to be painful and expensive, a lot because of her narcissistic attitude. To bring psychopaths into this for this example, that's the only reason I'm bringing them up. But I talk about it all the time. Everybody thinks psychopaths are these brilliant minds that have figured out how to do this and that. A lot of times they're just doofuses. A lot of people think narcissists are the same way because a narcissist is just all psychopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are psychopaths. But psychopaths, some of the narcissists that have done really well are really, really smart. So everybody is under the impression that a lot of narcissists are very smart. She's not. You have idiots in there. You have doofuses as narcissists as well. And I think we're dealing with somebody who's not very smart because of the problems that keep popping up with her that she's not seeing, isn't able to see what's coming at her, what my actions will the consequences of her actions. She doesn't see that. She doesn't see what's coming
Jesus.
in the future from the way she acts, in other words.
You are so right, because let's talk about July 1st. Meghan launches her first Napa Valley Rosé wine, on which is Princess Diana's birthday. And I reported that my sources told me Prince William and those close to him found it very insensitive, considering the fact that, according to an autopsy report, Princess Diana died at the hand of a drunk driver. So Meghan goes and releases this alcohol on Diana's birthday. And we know that she's sitting around, well, we are assuming that she's sitting around a table strategizing with her team going, yeah, let's release it on Princess Diana's birthday because people will call it a tribute, and people will say Meghan's doing this on Diana's birthday as a way to honor her, and not going the extra few steps to think about what the consequences truly would be of other people going, wait, didn't she die in the backseat of a car that was being driven by a drunk driver? Was releasing an alcohol on her birthday really appropriate?
Yeah. Yeah, that's just see that kind of thing gets me all worked up because it's not very smart,
Yeah, I
as I
know.
said.
I mean, we've got a couple more examples of that. Like, we'll talk about her putting her foot on the seat when she goes to Paris. I'm in August. I promise. We're almost at the end of at the end of the year.
No, no,
The
that's fine.
Senabale scandal, August 6th, full swing. Dr. Sophie Shandaka makes headlines claiming that she had a fight basically with Prince Harry in April of 2024, because I think you might have dissected this video where Meghan's kind of like pushing Dr. Sophie Shandaka off stage so that she can take the polo trophy and be in the center of the polo photos. That photo started circulating in April of 2024, but in August of this year, Harry leaves this charity that he created to honor his mother and says Dr. Sophie Shandaka is the problem. And Dr. Sophie Shandaka comes back and claps back and says, actually, I refused to defend your wife last year when she was shoving me around the stage. Your wife is a bully. I feel like you've both bullied me. I wasn't going to become a part of the Sussex PR arm. Um, I
Oh,
think
I
that was,
remember this. I
yeah,
remember this was a big deal. We did that on the behavior panel.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
talked about it. That's what it was. Yeah, I
And
remember that.
I thought that this was such a poor reflection on both Harry and Meghan. And Meghan tends to just disappear when Harry's going through a bad time. Have you noticed that whenever Harry has bad press, Meghan just lays low, and
I,
then sometimes we can't get the hell away from her?
yeah, I don't follow it that tight to know. So no, but I know when she gets in the news, man, she's everywhere for a while. But that's the way that is. You do a run, but she's taking it here.
Is that a example of her narcissism though, that when Prince Harry needs her support, she disappears, even
Well,
though he's sacrificed so much for her?
well, no, that could be her MO, because something bad's happened to somebody, you don't want to be uh, around that. You don't want that to get on you too. He may be saying no, or her publicity people may be saying no, I'll get away from him. Don't, they may be keeping them separated in a situation
Mm.
like that.
And that's the one
So
time she listens to her PR people. That's
probably,
conveniently.
probably.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about today's sponsor. A fresh start is possible. You may be carrying around the same debt month after month, watching it get worse, but that only continues if nothing changes. PDS Debt has already helped hundreds of thousands of people rewrite their financial story and take control. Your turn starts now. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, or medical bills, PDS Debt offers custom options to help you get out of debt. They go beyond the numbers to understand your unique situation and build a personalized plan just for you. There's no minimum credit score required, and their mission is simple: help you save more, pay off debt faster, and finally put money back where it belongs, your pocket. PDS Debt is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, has thousands of 5-star Google reviews, and holds a 5-star rating on Trustpilot because their program works. And every month you wait costs you more in interest and fees. The best time to start? Well, technically it was yesterday. The second best is right now. This is the debt solution I would recommend to friends and family. Don't wait another month. Change your story in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and the best option for you at pdsdebt.com/Kinsey. That's pdsdebt.com/Kinsey, pdsdebt.com/Kinsey. August 15th, Meghan, who says love is in the details. Oh, we've talked about this before, and I'll never forget your reaction. August 15th, Meghan, who promises that love is in the details, missed a pretty important detail while promoting her shortbread cookies on an Instagram video: the worm crawling across her
Yeah.
plate. That's one way to elevate your offerings. I put on August 26th, we got the second season of With Love, Meghan, and it immediately bombed. It was also so disappointing because she has spent a significant amount of time campaigning against cyber bullies online. She says she's trying to protect children, but I really know she's talking about me. She wants people like me to shut up. And then she has Chrissy Teigen on her show, who told a teenage girl to go off herself.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how can you promote, or how can you campaign against cyber bullies and then, you know, platform one on your television program?
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's well, again, not thinking she's not taking the whole picture into consideration. She's just thinking about herself. She's famous. I need to be near her. Let's do that. So she may not. It may have happened a while back. I don't know what happened,
It
but
did.
if
It
that
did.
if that happened, that's not good. And especially if it's that big thing, they're all against all this, and she's telling some girl to do. It's not good. But she doesn't. Maybe that's why she's going through so many different publicity people every couple of months.
Yeah.
You know.
She's been through 10 in the last 5 years, I
Ooh,
think. Or maybe I don't know. I actually think I have that written down on my list. August 31st, it was reported that she would not accompany Prince Harry on his trip to the UK because it wasn't safe for her. October 7th, Zoolander, aka Meghan, appears at Paris Fashion Week without Prince Harry, where Kim Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint, where Princess Diana died. Somehow, Paris is safer for her than the UK is. So that's hard to stomach. But this is where we saw her make headlines for shooting the video with her feet resting in front of her on the seat as she's passing the tunnel where Princess Diana passed away. This is exactly what you were talking about when it comes to not considering the consequences. And again, like, she swears to God she wasn't thinking about that. if she wasn't, she's an idiot, Scott. If she was not thinking about this, do you not think that there were conversations between her and Prince Harry about how Paris is a place for him that doesn't bring happy memories, you know?
But you're thinking like a normal person would think. Think about what's happening here. You've done why everybody's angry at her because you're thinking normally. You're thinking like a normal. Your brain is normal, and your behavior is normal. Hers isn't. It's all about her. She would never take that into consideration because when she's in that situation, she's constantly thinking, "How can I take advantage of this to make me look good?" And that's what she did. She sitting there with getting pictures of herself in there when she should be on the phone with him, going, "Hey, sweetie pie, guess what? I'm right here. I just want to call you and tell you,
Everything's okay. Yeah.
connect,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because he's there, she's there, and what happened to his mother? Not far from there, you know. She should connect with the cat. That's what she should, she should have shown that. I'm not saying put that on Instagram,
Yeah.
but be doing that. Don't be so concerned with trying to look so cool, especially in or hip or whatever, in a situation like that. When she's there in that town during that time, she should have called him when in that very spot as she passed over that because she's close to where that happened, from my
Did we?
understanding.
I think we covered this before we knew this detail. So react to this for me because you and I did do a very fun video about her at the Balenciaga show, and when she walked out of that hotel in the toilet paper outfit, you were like, she is playing a role. She it knows exactly what she's doing. She's in her head. Like this is something that she feels like she's executing perfectly. We
Mhm.
later found out through the designer that Meghan actually called him and said, "Can I come?" She invited herself to this event. Does that surprise you at all?
No, it's they probably didn't want her around. Why would you want something like that around where everywhere you go, we show up?
Yeah.
If it's filmed or videoed or taking pictures of them. So why would you want something like that, some bad press around you when it's your thing? You're like, wow, here's my big thing. Here's my big night. Can I come too? Yeah, man. Yeah, you can come too.
Oh,
You know.
it's kind of embarrassing, Scott.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. I don't feel sorry. In a way, I feel sorry for her because think how truly lonely she must be. She can't have any real friends because with a personality type like that. We've seen her interact with who's supposed to be her real friends. You saw that guy at the beginning of her show, of her Christmas thing.
Just
That's not,
repeat everything I say, but in different words. Oh,
yeah,
that's not a fun. That's not a challenging, fun relationship.
no, that's no way she can confide in and him go, let me think about what you're saying, and be real with her. He's doing the same thing she's doing. you know so we and those two girls that were friends of hers, I think out of those two, I think that little the blonde haired girl would probably, she said the least, so that's probably what she could talk to the best, but the other girl was good too. I don't know, they seemed like, I liked them, I thought they were nice,
Yeah, they're
but
fine.
I didn't see that connection there with them. I didn't see it. I definitely didn't see it with the tennis player. What's her name?
Naomi.
Naomi. Didn't see that.
No.
Didn't see a connection
What
there.
I think you've said it a couple of times, and I never believe you when you say it, no offense, but that narcissists hate themselves because
Mhm.
she puts on a front that no one is as smart or beautiful or fashionable, or a better mother than she is. But I do believe you. Like when you say it, my body rejects it. But I truly do believe you because I feel like the reason she fell out with the royal family in the first place was insecurity. She felt
Mhm.
rejected by them. She didn't have the home as nice as Catherine. She had to bow to Catherine. She didn't, I feel like the entire thing was not about racism, but was about Meghan's insecurities. And so what you're saying to me is absolutely true, even though my body rejects it based on the way I watch her on camera.
Mhm. Yeah, well, the root of the narcissist is that hatred of themselves. It really is, and that's what makes them, because they don't think they're worth anything. They don't think they're worth any, and they just think the worst of themselves. So they try to project the best. What they want people to think is the best of themselves, the best of everything, because they're trying to fight that thing, saying, "No, I'm good," when they know they're not. When they're in their brain, they're saying, I'm not. I know I'm not." It's that just disgust with yourself that turns that on and makes that happen. It starts in childhood. Well, I'm not going to go through the whole history of narcissism. That's not what we're doing here. But that's where it starts is with hating themselves in a nutshell.
Well, okay, let's go to childhood for a second though, because she's been accused of trying to, and you read this article, the Harper's Bazaar article, she brings up the Rodney King riots. And a lot of people were angry about that here in LA because they're like, stop trying to make a cultural moment about you. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't about you. You were not involved in the Rodney King riots. You were a child. Your father argues you were far, far away from the riots. So when you talk about the snow falling from the sky and it being ash, your father says that's physically impossible because you were over in, your nice little suburbs of LA when you weren't in your expensive ass Catholic school, going to school. Does that, when you talk about it starts in childhood, does the fact that Meghan is trying to make the Rodney King riots about her, is that married at all? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, she'll try to make anything about her, especially if racism is a big thing, she'll try to involve herself in that. That's all about me. If being this is one, that's all about me. She's a polymath. That's someone who can do just about anything. They're great at an entrepreneur. Yeah, they do all kinds of things,
Yeah.
and she can do anything. She does anything and everything. So there's that. And then she's in everything that revolves around her. So Rodney King, of course, would have something to do with her. She'd try to find a way to connect herself to that. She's found a way to connect herself to almost everything. If you think about, gift wrapping and whatever it is, she's always connected to those things. And those will symbolize as well the relationships she has with quote unquote famous people that she tries to come in and be on her show and pretend she knows and things. And like that guy that was having his show out there, the fashion show.
Yeah,
You know, she
Balenciaga.
she had to call him and ask him to go because she tries to connect herself to all these different things. Just like that's the way they are. They try to be part of all of it, and so it all comes back to them. That's why being on stage and giving a talk and people asking you questions, nirvana, and it goes
Well,
back to that.
it's a great segue because October 14th, we did a great video about this. You did a separate video about this, I believe, on your channel. Meghan at the Most Powerful Women Summit in Washington, D.C. for Fortune. She talked about her year of learns. If I recall correctly, you used the word platitudes a lot, discussing what she was talking about, but also you translated I think that you determined based on what she said on that stage that her Netflix deal was likely over because she talks about how they're going to pivot to short form content, which you and I have said should have been this entire show. Um, so that's a great video from both of us. If anybody's missed it, they should watch that. In October, Meghan lost another publicist, 24th. This was her 10th in 5 years. October 30th, Harry and Meghan were allegedly, you did not 100% agree with this, booed at a Dodgers game during the Series. November 11th, Photogate, where Harry and Meghan asked the Kardashians to delete pictures of them off the internet happened and the world still hasn't recovered. November 19th, Meghan called this Harper's Bazaar cover a mic drop moment. She was incredibly proud of this Harper's Bazaar piece, which I think she might live to regret based on the passage at the very end about her insisting being announced when she enters a room. And November 20th, she's accused of stealing clothing from photo shoots because she's wearing the same dress in her Netflix Christmas promo as she wore in a variety shoot several years ago. I guess what I'm getting at is this has not I guess it's a year of it could be described as a roller coaster because she would definitely tell us she had some highs. But for the most part, I see lows when I read this timeline to you.
Yeah, it's just as she tries to make these things happen, it doesn't happen. So that's we see the smallest thing. Hey, look at this. For her, she may see these things as going well, and they're just talking bad about it. Some of it did go well for her, I'm sure, but a lot of it didn't go well. She may see her shows as just fine, nothing wrong with them. She may not see the things that we're pointing out and talking about in her Netflix things or in these discussions she has with other people, these interviews. She may not see it as that for real. She
Mhm.
may say, no, that was great. It went great. And I'll bet she's watched them a lot too to make sure, and I bet Harry's had to sit there and watch that stuff a lot as well. So I think she probably thinks she's doing okay right
Oh
now.
God. I mean, I would
Yeah.
I would honestly tell you that if she, because you were talking about how cheap she could make that show, she could make that show with Love
Yeah.
Megan very cheap. I think she could make a decent amount of money if she pivoted and uploaded it to YouTube, but I would not be watching it. And I really don't know who would. I would not watch it regularly. I wouldn't even hate watch it. I wouldn't watch it to cover it regularly. Netflix does give her something special that I don't think YouTube would, but she could maintain this space if she wanted to stay in that lane on something like YouTube. And I think find some, find a decent response there. Um, I just think she wants the Netflix, the Spotify. I think that she wants the variety headline that comes with things like that, the Deadline headline, the Hollywood Reporter headlines. I think back to being insecure, she was the girl that went to 100 auditions and was rejected a million times, and that this she's trying to prove something to other people still.
Yeah. But so are other actors, even more than her, because they stayed with it and they're still actors. And they've done very well, a lot of
But they are
them.
actors who got where they got because somebody finally said yes. Meghan got where she got because she married a prince.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
Well,
I
there's
agree.
my mic drop moment. I can't believe I kept you for so long.
No, I'm into it. It doesn't bother me at all. Like today, I've got all kinds of stuff.
Uh,
I'm good to
I can't
go.
believe I kept you for so long. So yeah, that's kind of, I feel like this might be our Meghan Markle send off for 2025, but do you suspect she's going to keep us busy in 2026?
There's a change coming. Something's
There's
going to happen. Don't we
something's
say
coming.
something? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but she's setting it up for a change. That was what it looks to me like. I could be completely wrong.
No, you're right.
It
And
seems
she's
like something's happening.
incredibly, incredibly secretive. And I don't understand what I mean, I guess she wants to keep it from people like us. She doesn't like people like us sitting around talking about her. But I don't think it benefits in her in the long run to be as secretive as she is. Like you and I talked weeks ago, like where the hell is this Christmas special? Like
Mhm.
there's been no teasing it, there's been no promotions. And then she kind of pops up like a week before to say, my show's coming out next week. I don't see the value in that, the way that how secretive she is. But I agree that something's coming.
I think you're right. If I was a betting man, I'd put my money on the makeup thing
Yeah.
because of that connection and all those connections you talked about. You
Mhm.
should put something together about that and say, maybe that you don't have to say this is what's going to happen. You say maybe this is going to happen because of this. I think that'd be interesting.
Okay. Well, I'll do that. I'll
You
be,
should
and
do that.
it'll say at the bottom, inspired by Scott Rouse.
No, no, you thought of it. You're already talking about it. You were telling me. All I did was say, "Tell me about that." I have nothing to do with it. You, you should do that. You should do
Thank
that
you.
and take
Thank
all the
you.
credit. Yeah,
I will do that. Well, that I think that sums up 2025. I mean, I agree with you that she looks at the timeline I just read out and goes, I accomplished a lot this year. She did. I mean, we think it's lazy that she spent a week in a house and filmed two seasons in one special, but if you look at it on the timeline, it looks like a significant amount of work, and I'm sure she's proud of herself.
yeah. I mean, for stuff you do in a year, she's gotten a lot accomplished, good,
Mm.
bad, or ugly.
Yeah,
A lot
but
of
some would
ugly.
argue that it. Wait, even with it, I still have to talk to your entrepreneur friend
Oh,
because
yeah, like,
it does feel like she tries to do too much in a short amount of time, and it negatively affects the delivery.
yeah, because you can't do that. You have to think about what you're doing, and you have to think years in advance of what's happening. Because when you pitch that idea to get funding, they want to know what's going to happen in 5 years and 10 years where you see it happening and where you can sell it for 10 times, 15, 20 times what they invested so they can get their money back,
Mhm.
10 times what they put in. So cover
Well,
it.
I want you, if you haven't yet, to go subscribe to Scott Rouse on YouTube. What new shows, what have you done lately? Because I've been looking at multiple marathons on your channel.
Well, I did those because there was a, it's Thanksgiving came up. It's like, geez.
I know, but it's kind of a great idea. It was super fun.
Well, thank you. What I'm going to do is that thing you suggested, where I took Meghan Markle and then Elizabeth Holmes, and I'm going to have a behavior battles and compare their body language and behavior, because one is a psychopath and the other is a high-end narcissist, and those, we'll see how they if they clash or go together, and I'll tell you what the differences are in those and how they're similar. So that's
Oh
what
my
that'll be about.
gosh, that's going to be so fun. So go subscribe to Scott. Also subscribe to the behavior panel. If you like watching a bunch of dudes crack each other up, it is great TV to watch. Also very wise, and very insightful. But you guys clearly love each other. It's super fun to watch you all talk to each other and build off of each other. Look at your
Just kidding.
face. I hate them.
I
I
can, they
hate them
make me
all.
sick. They make me absolutely sick. All
Liar.
of
Your body language tells me you're not being truthful right now. Agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Kinsey Schofield. He's Scott Rouse, and we can't wait to see you again in the new year.